All right, welcome everyone. This is a Viper Professional Training and Support webinar. Today's date is May 5th, 2018. This is a Saturday morning webinar. And the title of today's webinar is How to Use Lightning PM1 and PM2 Trades with Object Trader. And as everyone knows that's been to our webinars or our live trading room, everything that we say and do at Viper Trading Systems is for educational purposes only. Futures trading, Forex trading, any kind of financial instruments trading involves risk, therefore there's always risk of loss. You should only trade discretionary capital, and that is money that you can afford to lose. Nothing said in this webinar, other webinars we have, our live trading room or anything else with Viper Trading Systems, should never be construed as trading or investment advice. And as always, everyone does trade at their own sole discretion. Any questions on the disclaimer? Thanks for fixing bar close. Yeah, I was glad to get that fixed too, Chris. By the way, anybody here or even listening to the webinar later as recording, be sure if you're a member with Viper Trading Systems, we have made it available. Let me just show you real quick, as a matter of fact. I'll just show you where it's at on our website. Let me go to the members area. See if we can get in there. All right. We have put it now to where you can go to your members area. I don't know why that doesn't say welcome Gary, but anyway, you can go down to right here where it says templates, Viper Workspace, and latest Object Trader scripts. So this is going to be for members only, and you can get to that by simply going into your members area and getting your scripts there. Okay, so the scripts are on the website. All you got to do is click it, save the file. You save a file, you just go up to the little deal, open it, and you'll actually see that you've got Object Trader template, Object Trader scripts, Viper Trading Room Workspace, the mid-band scripts, and also the webinar that I usually just have up there. Some people like that because it does away with the prices that are on your chart, and you can kind of see what's going on. I want to show you another little chart I designed to this came to me a few weeks ago, and I started doing this and really watching it, and it really works. Let me just show you this little chart here. Now, real quick, what's the overall direction of this? Now, I'm talking about overall direction of this is absolutely to the upside, isn't it? Yeah, because you have a low here, you have a high here. You don't know this is your high until it, or pardon me, this is your low until it takes out this high, right? But it did. Okay, and you don't know this is your low until it takes out this high, and it did. Okay, so if you're the type that likes to draw on your charts and everything, that's pretty much, right now anyway, the area that would have to be taken out for this to change directions. So you remember when I actually talked about trading that oil on Friday, and I said that we were going to get a monster move, and it would be one way or the other, but I expected it to be up. Well, watch what happened. Now notice when this made even this little a priori swing here and it broke this one here, you could pretty much, by the way, when you see this happen in real time, you could actually box this in, by the way. And we'll look and see where that'll actually be on the chart if you wanted to actually box that in. And keep in mind that this trade was called, when this was in, if I remember right, it was a sideways background. It had a rose-colored mid-band. And then after the room closed, or a little bit before, I guess, but pretty much after the room closed is when it did this. Now, does that look like to anybody a downtrend? And when we're talking about trading against the trend, keep in mind that's not always the background, because we try to get those to change really, really quick. Okay, but if you look at the overall trend of this move, there is no reason, unless you were actually shorting tops, okay, to ever go short on this thing, because breakout, like little trades, will just get you the small retracement and off they go again. Okay, so you want to be real careful with that type of trading. When your overall trend is literally up like this, then be very careful going against it. Now, if you want to trade these double tops, to give an example, and you see it, for instance, you have a little swing here and you come up and you barely take out this top, could you actually short this up in here if you saw these numbers? And the answer is yeah, you could. So you could actually get that little trade like that, would be all the way down to that 12 area. Okay, but keep in mind that that's counter trend trading too. Okay, now if you actually saw this trade as it was talked about in the room, it went sideways for quite a while. If you look at the actual chart itself, it was pretty sideways, but when it took off, it took off. And remember when I said yesterday morning that we were having trouble getting past 69, remember? Look where it went all the way almost to 70. Those green and yellow lines, what I did there, PW, is I just simply tied my lines together. I'll make a template available. I'll even put it on the website if you want. But all I did was actually went into the indicator and went into Lightning 3. And remember, we've always had this display area on Lightning 3. That's the high display. And I just simply changed that to a solid line. And then the low display, I changed to a solid line. And then it just basically draws from the green to the green to the green to the green, and then the yellow to the yellow to the yellow to the yellow as it goes across. Okay? That way, it's not a Darvis. I know a lot of people have seen Darvises and things like that, but could you clearly see, for instance, that if you were looking at this, and this is what I was looking at in my mind. Now, I didn't have this little chart drawn, but you could clearly see that resistance was right here, for instance, at 53 even. But it started stair-stepping up right here when it started taking out this 42 and started stair-stepping up. And if you look at your chart, you're going to find out that that was pretty much down at that low and the background was actually red. But couldn't you have actually boxed this in and taken that trade? And the answer is yes. And obviously it just kept stair-stepping, 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 and off it went. This made me a little nervous right after the room closed, right in through here. But if you look at it, it just barely came below the mid-band when it did this little big, nice thrust up and then barely pulled back and then took off again. But could you clearly see that you could actually also box that in like that? And that's where it is right now. It's up in the 69.81 area, I think is where it's at. Okay, so when you're trading on Monday, learn to trade Lightning. Lightning will make a huge difference in the way you trade. Okay, and if we can get Object Trader to where it will actually, see these in real time and draw these boxes, and that's what we're working on, we're going to have us a little, semi-auto trader for Object Trader to do something like that. Okay. Let's see, can you put background colors on this chart now? You can. Yeah, Robert, you can. What you would do with that, you would want to go to the properties and change this from black to probably like a silver. Now this is going to get really hard to see, but let's go ahead and do it like that. And then if you wanted backgrounds on it, you just simply go to your Lightning 3, for instance, and you can do our background on it if you want, the one that's normally on your template, or you can even do this background here. See where it says display background trend? You can actually display this one if you want by changing that to true. And let's see, that might be about right. Let's see what it'll look like. And let's get rid of the predictor. And I would probably change, if you want to really see a background that's actually more the overall trend, of course, you could actually do this. But keep in mind, you're going to miss some good short trades if you do this too. Let me just show you something here. Let's do away with that background. and we'll go with Lightning 4 background. And display background. Let's see what it looks like. And let's see, we're on 12 range, 5 strength. That should do it. And let's go back to like a silver, because that's still hard for me to see. Let's go right here to properties. We'll change this back to like a, it won't go black obviously, but probably like maybe gray. That's good enough. All right, see, when this pulled down though, this had changed this background. Okay, now the one thing about our background is that, you know, even though this has changed, you got to realize also that you could still watch this Lightning 3, and as it stair steps up, or even when it took out this swing here, you know, even if you're a little bit more of a conservative trader, let it break that resistance right there, you know, around 52. Does anybody see about where that was? But you'd have to put your stop underneath this, you know, if you did that, because you'd be breaking out and you'd be putting your stop. And I'd usually put it about probably 3 or 4 ticks under that swing. Okay. But, you know, the one thing about it, and I'm thinking about having something like this changed. I'm going to see if our programmer, what he could do. This actually changed because this started breaking down. Okay. But I want it to change back quicker than it did. So to me, this should start changing back to a green background when it made like this a priori swing here and then broke it. So you might be green right through here instead. We'll take a look at that and see. Okay. All right. Now, I don't know if anybody noticed or not, but NinjaTrader today is having all kinds of server issues, and you can't really, you know, even download Market Replay or anything like that. It's all just totally messed up. If you go to your chart, put your data on, you'll notice that you have no historical data. Can midline only be put on this chart as well? Absolutely, Robert. Let me show you an indicator that we've designed that you can also use that is a little bit more adjustable. Now, the VIP dynamic trend, you know, which is actually in the VIP Pro Ultimate package, you know, that y'all get each time you get your updates. Well, we've got another one in here called Object Trader Guidance Lines, and you can do it. It's based on, you know, a lot of this thrust retrace action and everything. And what you can actually do is you can put it with just a middle line if you'd like. And I think I've got it like that right now. Let me just check it and see. Let's just see what it does. No, that's all of it. Okay, let's see here. Transparent. I'd have to actually look it over and see, because this is transparent right here, so that shouldn't be showing this right here, in my opinion, but I'd have to actually look at it and see. But you can definitely put just a mid-band on this, and I'll get that figured out this afternoon even, and let you know how I did it, because you can do it. And the way you can do this also, you can even choose, you know, how you want the mid-band to do. You know, for instance, if you want the mid-band to be a lot looser, you can actually change this right here. This is actually, you know, the way it sets up. The trend reset close ticks, to give an example, this actually looks more in this little area around mid-band. And then you can even change the periods of it, you know, like 55 bars or whatever you want it to be. So play around with that and see what you think. Just a second. Did it lock? Bear with me a second. You should be able to see it now. Sorry about that. This thing does that occasionally. It just locks. Okay, but what I did is I put Object Trader guidance lines on the chart, and you can change the well, basically right here you have your guidance line, your middle line, and everything. You can change all of this to transparent if you want, and just get the middle line only. And you can also do the get rid of this right here if you want And basically you would have it, let's just try it real quick. This webinar is about teaching the scripts and everything. Let's just do it. I'll go ahead and change this one to transparent and see what it does. Because we had this one designed quite a while ago, and it's in your package. You know, we've got indicators in that package that some people don't even use all the time at all. See, that got rid of the lines, but it didn't get rid of the bands. Okay, and let's get rid of the lightning lines just real quick. Get rid of the background. Let me just show you a little bit about this, because now I don't want that background either. Let's see, background, false, background, false. Guidance line must have a background. Okay, let's do it at 0. There we go. That's got basically the bands and the mid band. But let me show you something about this too that's pretty cool, because you can actually customize this kind of the way that you personally like to trade. Let's say that you wanted this to be, you know, like a, an 8.0 to give an example on here. Well, what's the difference in where the band goes? And we'll have to put some prices on it to really get that. But notice how the band's a lot. And you can even adjust this too. This is kind of cool too, because normally this is about 48 to 50 between the bands. But if you want to, you can actually adjust that. I think, let's see, period 55. Okay, top to bottom is 25, 25. So if you wanted that to be like 60 to give an example, you would set that at like 30. And then your actual bands will be 60 ticks away from each other. And you can actually just play with your particular instrument and see what you think. You know, now this is from here to here is 60 ticks, and from here to the mid band is 30. Okay, so just play around with it and see what you think. Because the way we had this particular one designed is totally changeable. You can do anything with it that you want. Okay, and it's all in the parameters. Okay, what I was mentioning just a minute ago, though, is that we actually have no replay data for yesterday because there's no historical data. So if you'll bear with me just a second, what I'm going to do is I'm going to load the data for as far as I've got it, and I haven't, uploaded. Let me just see if a replay is actually loading yet. It's probably still giving the same error that it was. Yeah, same error. So I'm going to have to just use, I had data just Sunday and Monday when I did my last webinar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect to that. And we're going to trade this accordingly. And let's see if we can trade Lightning the way it's designed. Does anybody have any questions about your actual identified Lightning? No, the guidance lines won't be 100% the same as the VIP dynamic trend, Robert. What we did basically is we had this little indicator designed a while back so that we could actually, kind of customize it the way, for instance, ES is a lot slower. You can customize that guidance line to work with ES quite easily. And you can even play around with, when does it go to, sideways action, when it's, X ticks from, the top of the, or from the mid band to the next band, and from the mid band to the next band down. You can customize all of that. Let's see if we can get some data going here. Just one second. Hopefully, I'm not dead in the water, but I'll tell you what, I've had no luck with NinjaTrader this morning. It's not connecting to servers on historical data at all. Let's see if I can get a chart though. This looks good enough. Let's go ahead and we'll trade this. Now, if I was actually walking in to my computer and I saw this on my chart right here, Okay, and this is actually Sunday night, so this is the only data that I've actually got. But can everybody see that you've already broken down, for instance, through the a priori swings through here? Okay, you got another set of a priori swing right here, and you got another one right here. Now, when and if it breaks that one, you're pretty much going to be heading down. If it breaks this one back to the upside, you should be heading back up. James, have you right-clicked and to see if you've got historical data though? See, I didn't actually save my workspace yesterday, and I didn't download data. I usually just download it on Saturday mornings for these webinars. And I got up this morning, and if you try to download Market Replay, it comes up with an error that it's not connecting to the server. But anyway, we'll go on. We're good to go. Let's see. I'll tell you what, I'll go over quite a bit about that on the guidance lines. I'll play around with it quite a bit today, and because that's been a couple of years ago that I actually had that built. So I'll play around with it because it's got backgrounds built into it, and it's got, you know, lines built into it. It's got shadows. You know, it's pretty deluxe little indicator. Let's see, what are the yellow and green lines on the last chart? You're talking about the chart, this one right here. I don't have it anymore. What I did basically, Douglas, is I went ahead and used my lines, and I'll show that again at the end of the webinar. Just remind me, okay? Because I need to get this really going. All right, no problem at all. All right, let's see what we got. Now notice that you did take out this swing right across here like it really wants to take it out, doesn't it? What do y'all think? And you got a short background. That's the beauty of our system. It lets you know when things are happening. So what do you think? I would think it would hit that line right there. Let's see if it does, and we'll short it if it does. Looks like it just about hit it. Yeah, it's taking it out. I would probably go ahead and sell. See it breaking that line right there? There you go. I don't know why that, oh, $730. That's pretty good. Everybody see how I did that with Lightning? I just simply, you know, waited for the thing to break. You know, this was Sunday night, by the way, so you may have gotten this and you may not have. It's hard to say. Okay, but let's look it over and let's see if everybody else can figure out where the next trade is. Okay, we're going to figure out if anybody can figure out the next trade. Now, the way Charles teaches, you had one right here. See where it went through stealth, but it didn't go through line 6, did it? Didn't go through line 6. Okay, so I usually take a trade like that myself because I watch this stealth. See how it kind of kisses stealth, takes it out and then goes down again, takes it out, goes down again, takes it out and goes down again. You know, I like that little trade myself, but you've got to be careful with it too, okay? Because if you took it, to give an example, let's say that you took this little trade here, okay? You didn't get in way up here, but you waited for a little retrace and it came through stealth. Well, then just put your stop just above the swing. There's a swing right there to the left, and you just got in right there. Okay, so I usually like to look at Lightning to see where I want to put my stop. Let's just draw Lightning and I'll show you. I didn't draw too good. See if we can draw it from down here. The reason is because it's a session change. I'll draw it manually instead. With a session change, Lightning goes a little funky. Okay, but everybody can see basically you've pretty much got that, right? That's your Lightning swing. And then it kind of comes down a little bit more. So you can clearly see where your Lightning is, right? So is this like so? All right. What would it take to take your stop out on this particular trade if you don't use midband? Because remember, I've taught this literally probably 1,000 or more times. You want to always watch for the stair stepping. Okay, if this was to start stair stepping like this, and we're looking at the price, but let's just change this color because I'm doing a hypothetical right here. Let's change the color of it. All right, if it was to start doing this and this, now that'd be telling you a little bit that, hey, this could be changing, right? Now we're not looking at the price right now, we're looking at lightning. Okay, but notice on the left-hand side, you've got resistance right here. So if this was to do this and even come up, like say, really close to here, let's just bring it up a little bit further, like so, and then just decided to head down and start stair-stepping back down, isn't that still a downtrend? Now on the right-hand side, it actually changed a little bit to an up, but it didn't on the left. Everybody see what I'm talking about there? You've always got to look to the left to trade the right, and you've got to look to the right to see, you know, is it starting to stair-step the other way, but you've also got to look on the left side. Okay, let's see what actually happened with this. And then I want y'all to tell me what the next trade is and how to take it. Let's see if we can get something. Now notice that it's not doing quite what this was. See, you got a lower high, you got a lower low. See, it's not doing like that lightning. Now, if you drew this the right way right now, then what would it do? Well, you would have done, get these out of the way, you would have done something like this, right? And you would do something like this, then this. So where's your resistance on the left side of the chart? Isn't it right there? Okay, so it makes it, you know, where you can really trade these things, especially using this lightning methodology. Now we've designed some scripts in here called PM1 and PM2. PM1 is just simply lightning 1 and PM2 is lightning 2. Okay, so you can actually trade those, but the only thing is about these two, at least for right now, you cannot trade them if you miss the trade. In other words, what I'm saying is if this turns green, let's say that you wanted to take this on a counter trend trade and it turned green, well, you would have to already have the long turned on. You know, for instance, let's say if I wanted this, if it happened to do PM, we'll just do one contract just to see if it does it. PM1 would actually be only triggering if this goes green. Now you'd really be looking for, though, a retrace that goes green and then rolls to red. Okay? So that's the trade you'd be looking for. You want to see if we can get something like that? We'll find out if we can get something like that. All right. Let's go ahead and take this off, and this off. By the way, I'll stick around for a few minutes, even after the webinar is pretty much over, and we'll go over some of that on how to draw that other chart, and I will get it on the website for you too. You know, it's not a biggie. It just kind of helps you to see, you know, what's really the overall trend. Because you heard me on Friday, I said that oil was more than likely going to head up in a big way. And how did we know that? Well, we knew that because it had hit a low and it was starting to stair step back up. You notice that it actually popped up, pulled back, and even made a higher low. And that's what I was saying, you know, that we wanted to get ready to get that thing. All right, let's see if we can get something here. I'm going to just try to get like 8 ticks if it goes lightning green. Probably won't get something like that, but we'll see. I'll show you how it'll fire anyway. Not that you would take this trade down here, although this is actually a little predictor type trade. See, there's your little trade right there. Okay, you'd have to put your stop underneath the swing, obviously. And if it takes it out, unfortunately, it just takes it out. Let's see if we can get a scalp. Everybody see how that lightning actually fired the trade? Now, I'm not saying you trade this here. I'm just showing you how lightning will work. Now, this one being off a predictor, I'm not too against this. This will probably come up to mid-band. Yeah, actually, I'll explain that too, Robert, because I know there's a lot of people that consider a phantom different than it really is. And I'll explain that until everybody in here knows exactly what it is, okay? See if we can get a little, if this meter goes red, this will actually go short. Okay, now keep in mind, a meter has to be a high, a low, a lower high, and then break. So unfortunately, until it breaks this right here, you're not going to get a red meter. Everybody see that? Maybe even under here because it looks left also. Watch and see. This to me is too late. See there? That's too late. Okay? I like that trade right there at that mid band because I'll bet you this trade more than likely, you know, if it hits the low, I'd probably actually protect it just in case because I don't like that kind of a trade. Let's see if it takes us out. We'll go again though if it does. If it takes us out. You want to go again? We'll go again. Now, when we talk about boxing, though, what I personally like, and I'm going to get this designed into it, I want a down one, an up one, and then break, and it fires it. That would be, see, because this one now is going to fire it right here. It should anyway. Let's see if it does. Power meter. And I'd also like to add power meter to actually have the feature of touch, like touch plus 2 or something like that. I don't like a complete closed bar. See, now that's a little late again to me, but let's see if it works. See if it works without taking us out. Got our stop in. Now I'd probably, with this being sideways, I'd probably do something like that since I've only got 2 contracts. Everybody see how to work power meter? It's a pretty good little tool. I personally like the trend lines, and I'm going to talk about those here pretty soon too, but not today. Let's see, which is better, stealth line or PM? Well, keep in mind that even stealth is going to be a little bit more of a breakout trade, and lightning can actually be a really quick trade, or as everybody knows, you can actually have, you know, bars that go like straight down, to give an example, and you don't even get a chance at, you know, getting a lightning until it's quite a bit further down. Let's see, that's getting actually a higher low right there. We'll just leave it. Let's see what it does. It'll either take us out or it won't. Let's see, is there a way to read the power meters? Sometimes you have different combinations of red and green. You first on green and the rest of the first 3. Well, yeah, David, on your question, what this is actually doing is power meter 1 is lightning 1, power meter 2 is lightning 2, and power meter 3 is lightning 3. Now, you don't really want to go a whole lot further than lightning 3, except to kind of watch the overall trend, okay? Because I'll go long against this last power meter any day of the week, you know, if I see the opportunity. Because, you know, this is actually, well, just to give an example, let's look to the left to trade the right. We've got a number right up here, okay? If they were to decide to take this up, they would have to crush up to it, come back, kiss it, and then take off. That's the way we teach it, okay? So if they don't do that, then obviously we're going to still be okay on our short. Now, I'd probably personally actually take this out because it looks like it's going to go up higher to me. So you got to, let's see if we can get another one though. Let's just see. You can always tell, you know, when they just don't take out the lows, you know, then take some coin. We always talk about that. Just take a little bit of coin. Let's see if we can get another one. Now this is red so far, so it's going to have to turn green. Okay, just turn green. See it? Power meter 1 and 2. And let's see if we can get a power meter red. Still green. Still green. There's 2 bars down. There's a bar up. Now, what would it have to do to fire this trade? It'd to have to break this right here, as of this moment anyway. It's going to fire it if it breaks that line. Watch that meter if it doesn't do it right when that line, if that bar closes, but there we go. See how that went red? Anytime you've got sideways action like this, fade the bottom. You know, because we're not stair-stepping right now, we're going sideways. So when you are going sideways, always make sure that you protect your coin right at the lows. Now, if I had like 3 contracts, I'd probably put one down here. But with only 2, you want to be careful always with the lows. Okay? You know, just watch your lightning swings and you'll see them. See how that barely took that out? Is that a trend change? Well, if it would have done this, come back and kissed, came below midband or even around it, and we could have boxed it, yes, it would have been a long. But it didn't turn out to be a long, did it? Everybody see that? Now, can you actually trade this as long as it's sideways, both directions with lightning? Let's just check it and see if we can. We'll just check it and see if we can. Let's let this trade go ahead and come to fruition if it will. It'll either stop us out. I'm going to go ahead and put my stop. Whoop. Shouldn't be able to move that. Move that right there. Okay. Let's see if we can get a little lightning. If we did get to the upside, it would have to break that right there. There you go. And your top is right across here, so obviously, whoop. Well, we lost that one because I was dragging the line. Let me see how you can do that. Okay, let's see if we can get another one. Okay, that's still heading up, so we're okay. It's going to have to break that line. There you go. Lightning. There you go. Everybody see how to do that? Now, what that was doing right there, you're just trading a little channel right there. That was kind of like boxing it in, wasn't it? Because what you're actually doing is this right here. I'm going to show you how it works. If you have this happen and this happen, that doesn't take out that swing to the left, this is where it fires on the break of that swing. Okay? So, for instance, right now, if we even wanted to, could we try it? Let's just try for 8 ticks and see if it'll do it. That's risky to me. Well, it's already red. You won't get it anyway. Now, this is something we want to add to Object Trader so that it will take this trade, because I can see it getting ready to fire it if it closes that below the swing, but it wouldn't fire it because it's already red. Everybody see that? Let's see if we can get a green one again, and we'll go long instead. Just got your green one. I forgot to change that to where you got more. So we're not going to get anything, you know, that's the one thing about it. You won't be able to add to it unless you just simply hit buy more, okay? Because this isn't going to change to red until it does this, right? Starts stair-stepping back down. Everybody see how this could probably, matter of fact, your swing is right up here. I've actually got one left, so I'll do a runner. And we'll take one between those two right there, just in case. Let's see if it works. That's a triple bottom, by the way. Now, if we were to do lightning again, what does anybody think? Could we actually do it, for instance, like a retracement, to give an example? Right now, see, you've got green. Okay, what would it have to do to actually break? If this was a midband trade, you'd have to pretty much break down through here with the close of a bar. right? Let's see if that turns red. Didn't turn red. No lightning. Still lightning to the upside so far. Now, I could have changed that, though, if we wanted to flip that. If it did take out that line, we could have actually flipped it if we wanted to, too. Okay? Let's see, Robert S. Long-term projections made off of PM3. Right. What you're actually looking at, let's just draw lightning 3 so you can see it. Let me get rid of lightning 2. Oh, I drew those manually. Let me get rid of all of it. Okay, now, the way this is actually trying to break up, we may be getting a trend change. It looks like, to me, it's taking out this swing across here. It's checking this one. It did get a trend change. So could you be ready as a trader? See how that just went red? Could you actually turn on PM meter and add? The answer is yes. See, I just turned it on. Now, I'd probably put my stop, just in case, below that swing, because I don't think they'll come back to it because they got a lightning swing here. Let's see if we got red again. Let's go ahead. Well, we can't add because I've only got a total of 3 on here. But watch this meter and see when it will change. Now, this one won't, because see, your bar's going straight up. There's a bar down, so it would change right here. Everybody see that? That's your lightning swing. Now, if it makes a little lower high and goes again, it'll have a different swing. Let's see what it gives us. You want to just kill it and see if we can get it again? All right. What will it have to do to change this? We've got red power meter. Red power meter still. Okay, there's an up bar after down bars. Give us a down bar. Come on. Nope, no down bar. Now it won't change, unfortunately, till it breaks here unless we get a down bar. There you go. Now it'll change here. And we could even get it at a different spot. Just keep an eye on lightning and you'll see as it forms. Just teach yourself to see the little thrust, retrace, thrust. And when it breaks those swings is when it's going to change. You know, it's not an indicator that's going to, you know, every time do a little bitty move, and then break. Sometimes there'll be bigger moves, bigger pullbacks, and then break. Like right now, see, this is a low, a high, a higher low, so it would have to break that line right there for that to change. Everybody see that? Midband or background color. Robert, on your question, well, midband, you'd be wanting longs only to begin with right now. Okay, now it's going to have to break this right here. There you go. See, it just did it. Now that to me is a little later than I like because I would have bought it down here on this predictor, but you could also box it in down here like we teach too. But that's the way lightning would work on that. All right, and let's see, we've got you're stair stepping now, so when you're stair stepping, you can actually pull your targets out of the way because this has changed trends, right? We got 2. Let's see if we can get another one. If lightning goes red, we'll get another one. Nope, lightning's not going to go red. All right. Everybody see how this could probably be used in your trading? You know, lightning type swings. Now keep in mind, you can also just simply box it too. What is the quickest trend indicator, Robert? Your eye. To be able to be taught to see it on the chart in real time. You know, I think that's the best way. If I could actually, you know, have something designed that would actually emulate the way we see these charts and everything, believe me, I'd do it in a heartbeat. But, you know, charts are different every single day, so you got to just diagnose them. Look at that trade go. All right, could you do it again if this goes red? See, all you got to do is turn that on, and if it goes red, it would add. If it doesn't go red, it'll just keep trucking with that one. There's red. Now, does anybody see where this will fire? If, right now anyway, it'll fire right here. If it breaks. Now that to me is a little risky. That's actually, it worked though. See it? Lightning just went, and it's already back to red again. Now we can't add more because we already got 3. Now let me show you something else too. I got a feeling we're going to get a little bit reversal on this because you're right up at the top right there. I would probably, on a separate chart, I would probably actually look for a pullback on this thing. Because there's another thing you can do with lightning too. See, all 4 of these meters are green right now. I can actually even flip this trade if I want to by simply, if this goes red, I can actually flip it. See, it hit a predictor that's way up here. So, you know, when they take them out, that's good. But they hit a second predictor, they're more than likely going to pull back. There's your little lightning swing right across there. Now, this would definitely be counter trend. If it breaks micro, it should go down to medium. That's if. But you can utilize this little tool even to reverse if you want to. Or just do a second chart, let your trade ride with, you know, for instance, the previous swing or mid-band or something like that, and then just, you know, use a second chart if it happens to do the meter to the downside. Let's see if it does. I'd probably protect that at mid-band simply because that's a counter trend trade. Where would you put your stop on this trade, by the way? Anybody? All right, now notice our lightning is red. Okay, so couldn't we be ready to take this trade back the other way if we get a lightning to the upside? So let's do a, let's see if it'll draw lightning first. All right, there's lightning. Everybody see why I did that? I'm waiting for this to either break, and I would probably fire it immediately, or I'm looking for lightning. So I've got a little thrust down, a little retrace. You've got support right under here and here. Okay, and we'll take a PM trade to the upside if we get a lightning to the upside. Because we're not short, right? We shorted against the micro trend, right? That's all we did. Now, if you short against the micro trend, I'd highly recommend only doing it when you go to these predictors and they roll. See how this predictor tried to roll and everything? Well, we got that trade. That's a deep one. Will it give us a lightning trade to the upside? That's a phantom trade. Let's see if it does. It would have to break right here. Everybody see that? If it closes above that, you would actually fire it. It didn't close. Okay, it closed, so you're in the trade. Now, where would your stop be on this trade? Anybody? Well, I would probably, since looking to the left to trade the right, I'd put my stop right there at that swing, like so, with the close of a bar. And I'll tell you why. Because anytime they break a swing to the left, You know, if you're going to stay with this trade, trust the next swing down. And a lot of times I'll trust Phantom because, you know, for instance, we're feeling some heat on this, but when you're stair stepping like this Phantom, see where that predictor is? I usually even go down to the middle of it like that and then see if it'll bounce there. Now, if it takes me out, it takes me out. All right, that was a little deeper, but notice how it bounced right off our predictor. Okay, let's try this again with lightning. So you got red. See if we get a little lightning break. Where would it have to break right now, everyone? Unfortunately, right there. That's late to me, but it is lightning. It is what it is. Everybody see why sometimes lightning will fire just really quickly? See, for instance, if you had this little trade here, let's say that you had a thrust up, a little retrace, it would fire right there. With this one here, notice those bars went straight up, so there was your swing. Now, that's the only thing I don't like about lightning, okay? But it still seems to work pretty well. Always take phantom profit at mid-band. You really want to, actually, you do. So, yeah, I would take, you don't have to take it all off. Now, we're going at about 20 times, so it's a little fast here. But you want to see, for instance, let's see if we can add. Let's see if we can add on lightning. What do you think? And I want everybody to tell me where lightning is going to fire the trade as soon as you see it. Okay, you have a candles down, candle up. Wouldn't lightning pretty much fire right there? That's if we don't keep breaking down, and that's fine if we do. Okay? Now, if you get a candle down again, otherwise it's going to fire right there. Watch that'll change to 3 if that closes. If it doesn't close, you're good to go. See, it did close. See how lightning works? You just got to see that lightning does exactly the way these charts that we designed here, this little chart here, this is what lightning's doing right here. It's actually firing a trade right there. It's firing a trade right there. It's firing a trade right there. It's firing a trade right there. It would short right here. See the high, the low, the lower high, break, okay? And then long, 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 long. That's the way it would do. Because each time these swings are broken, that's when lightning triggers. Now, if you were using like lightning 2, where would it do it? Well, you have a low, you have a high, you have a higher low. You don't know that's a higher low until it takes out the previous swing to the left. That's where it would fire. It's right there, right across the top of that swing. So if you were trading this, where would you put your stop if you were using lightning 2? You put it right there. Notice you got a higher low, and it even took it out again, so you could fire another contract, you could fire another contract, you could fire another contract. But you can't with lightning unless you get the red lightning first. So for instance, let's see if we can get another red lightning at all. We've got 3 on. Let's see if we can get another lightning. Now, if it hits a predictor, I'm going to look for even going the opposite direction on a separate chart. Let's see if we can get something like this. Predictor's up in here. And if it doesn't blow through it, we'll watch it. Now see, if you didn't have anything on at all right now, lightning would fire if that goes green. Okay? And watch and see if you can figure it out again where it's going to fire. Right now, it would be here. Let's see if it does. If we get a down bar, it'll be even higher. Or pardon me, lower, which is good on a long. Otherwise, it's going to fire right across here. See there? Lightning fire. That was actually like a little burst, wasn't it? Everybody see how to use lightning on your chart? Notice that goes from red to green. So when it makes what is considered a change, then you can actually fire it the opposite direction. This hit a predictor, so could you actually do this? I wouldn't do it with 3. If this breaks lightning right across here, this would reverse the trade. Now, I'm not saying this is going to work, but if we break micro, we should go down to medium. And plus it hit a predictor. We'll see. Still good so far. But does everybody see where lightning will actually fire on this? You know, when I'm in the room, for instance, and I say, you know, I'm going to put a tight stop underneath the micro swing. Okay. Charles might say that he's going to put a stop here or even mid-band. But can you see if you actually break this little box right here and break what's called lightning, that more than likely you'll come down to here and possibly even mid-band? Now we got our target, one of them. Let's see if this predictor actually holds. Let's see, only need to break one micro to medium. Pretty much, Chris, you know, if you break micro, what I've found is you're looking at just like this. You know, when you break micro like this right here, you're usually going down to this swing right here. You know, that's more of a medium swing. What if this would have actually done this and broken just here to get down to here? Well, the more room you've got, the better your trade could actually work. Let's see if this happens to trigger. If it goes against us really quick, we'll just get out of it. If it breaks lightning, then more than likely it will go down to mid-band. Thrust, retrace, thrust. Notice if you look to the left to trade the right, can anybody tell me where, if this breaks micro, it's going to go down to? Because I can tell you where it's going to go down to. And not by looking at other charts that are, you know, in other words, this was last Monday, right? But does anybody clearly see this just thrust up and there's a little swing to the left right here? Don't you think it will pretty much go down to there, more than likely? And then there you just got your, well, we didn't get a short for some reason. Well, I'd close it because that should have fired a short just then. We did not get our short. Okay, notice how that this broke here. Now let's diagnose this chart and see if we can in real time figure out where this is going with lightning. Y'all want to try it? Let's see if we can. All right, if they break micro, they go down and check medium. If they break medium, they'll go down and check these larger swings. So you have a high, a low, A, B, C, D, E. There's your medium swing with the a priori swing, right? So if they break micro, they go down and check medium, which they've already broken micro. Let's just see if this works, because I see this time and time again on charts. Okay, they broke micro. They're going to check resistance. They did. Right across here. Now that was a good little trade to actually jump back in, by the way, on your predictor, but I've got this going pretty fast. So let's see. They broke micro. We're going to see if they break. Okay, they're at medium. They broke medium. If they break medium, they're more than likely going to go down and check these larger swings. I think I just missed it. Maybe not. Got it going pretty fast. I'll take it right there myself. That's support. Okay, but what if you didn't take it there? I'm teaching lightning today. That was a no-brainer trade, by the way. When they break micro, they go down and check medium. They did. They break medium, they go down and check these larger swings. And if they don't take them out, what's the direction of the trade? Anybody? Anybody and everybody? What's the direction you should be looking for to trade this right now? Up, right? Why would we be looking up? Well, let's look at a chart and see if we can figure out why we're looking to the upside. Okay? I'm going to get a little webinar chart up again to show you. We'll do a webinar chart. It'll be up in just a second. Hide the predictor. All right. Now, what's the overall direction of this trade so far? Anybody? Anybody at all? What says the team? It's still up, isn't it? Well, let's draw our lightning and let's see. All right, let's draw it. All right, so you have a high, low, higher, low. Not necessarily higher, low until it takes out that swing. Higher, low, higher, low. So right across here is support, and right across here is support. Let's see here. There we go. All right, so let me ask a quick question for everybody. Did it take out 87 on that little pullback? Let's look and see. 88, 87, 88. All right. So you have high, a low, ABC. This is your primary swing. This is your secondary swing. So what would be the direction of the trend if it comes down in this little sweet spot right here? Well, you can already tell it's kind of heading up, but let's look at the chart and see. All right, so let's see if it works. Now, what if you were a Lightning trader instead? I'm going to kill this trade because I want you to see how to trade this with Lightning. Does anybody see where Lightning is on this chart right now? It's right there. How do we know that? Because you have, first off, you have candles down, candle up, candle down, candle down, candle up, candle down. So right there is a lightning swing, right? Now watch and see if that doesn't trigger a trade right across there if it breaks it. You'll watch your meter go green if it closes. If it doesn't close, we'll get another trade. Okay, now your lightning swing is right here on the left and here on the right. See there? And it did it on this one. Everybody see that? Now that's your lightning swing. And if you don't want to just jump in with like, you know, all your contracts, keep in mind that this will not change back to red unless we break another swing, which would be right here. But could you add to this trade across here? And the answer would be yes, but it will not change that meter. So for instance, if you were in say 2 and it closed above that, you could just simply hit another set of contracts. See that? And then you put your stop just under lightning like that. Okay? Now, if you look at the overall, basically on your overall charts, keep in mind that micro trends are just simply 4-range bars. Okay? But if you've ever noticed it, when they break micro trends, they come down and check secondary ones. If they break this secondary or medium type, they will go down and they'll check these lower swings. Okay? Notice how close that came to it. Matter of fact, it came to it on the money on that one. A lot of times they'll miss it by a tick. Okay? But could you as a trader do pretty well on this type of trading? And by the way, see that pull back to red? All you got to do to add to it is watch that power meter. Let's see if it'll give us another lightning trade. Where would it have to do it to trigger? Let's see here. Let's see. Bar up, bar down. Good. All right, bar down. So it would trigger right there, right now anyway. If it closes above that, it would trigger and add one more contract because we got a total of 3 on here. So it won't go any more than 3. It may give us a better fill though. Let's see. If we get down bars and an up bar, could trigger right across here. But looking to the left to trade the right, it also might trigger right here. Let's see if we can tell which one it does trigger at, if it triggers at all. Now notice this has not broken what we consider to be micro swings just yet. It's got a little earthquake. Still hadn't broken it. Well, if that bar closes, it's pretty much going to close above here too. So let's see if we can get something. Back up. There you go. You just added. All right. That's how to use lightning in a nutshell, everyone. Remember, it has to change directions. And when that meter goes red, that does not mean that you're shorting this chart. It just means you're in a retrace. Now, does it mean if you hit some of these predictors that are just way up, for instance, and then you get these red meters, you can short those in a heartbeat if you want to. Okay? But be careful if you do, because, you know, the overall trend on this thing right now is what? Straight up, right? You just put your stop in and let it ride. And you could even set this up for the first pullback to go red to add contracts to it. Let's see if it'll get a red. There's red. There's green. See there? Just added 2 contracts to it on green. Okay? Now I ran about 6 minutes over, but does anybody have any questions on lightning? And real quick, some people asked some questions, so I'm going to go ahead and answer them, and we'll leave it on recording too. All right? Because I think everybody needs to know what a phantom trade is. And I've explained this a lot of times, and I know there's some ambiguity in the way it's explained. I think even Charles thinks there's a little difference in phantom trade than I do personally, and the way I was taught phantom by the guy that designed it. Okay? Your phantom trade, you're always going to want a trend change first. Okay, you have to go from a downtrend. Okay, see, anytime your midband is this color or rose color or magenta, okay, you are looking at a trend change for the first phantom. Okay, now we trade midbands and we trade these line 6 breaks. You know, Charles teaches those beautifully. Okay, when you break stealth, to give an example, and you broke in line 6, can you box this little trade in? You know, pretty tight. I don't box it all the way up to here or here. You know, I see it kind of hit support, and I'll box it down in this area like a 1, 2, 3 reversal, or maybe use lightning. Okay, but your phantom trade has to trend change like so, and you can clearly see this trend changed when it went to the green. This lime green simply means trend up. The blue means session high, trend up. The yellow means sideways, but still trend up. All right, or sideways, which you can make your own decision then. Now on the short side, you have magenta, which is trend down, and then you have red, which is session low, and you have rose color, which is sideways. All right, so when you get a trend change, you're looking for the first phantom after a trend change is a good trade. Now your phantom was right here on this trade. See it? Your phantom on a short is always in this little sweet spot right here between line 6 and line 7. All right, and you just simply get ready to box it in like so, or you can even trade, you know, if you don't trust that, for instance, then wait for it to break like the little, you know, that was resistance that's now support. Draw your lines and you could probably short it too. See where that a priori swing is right there? All right, so everybody know this is a legitimate phantom. On a short type of a trade, this phantom is always going to be in this color of a background. At least I think it's always. Every time I've ever seen one, it is. Now, if it doesn't break this area, it doesn't change this background at all. Okay, notice how this background's this, you know, this color right here. That's telling you that, you know, we could be in for a trend change, but we might just be in for, you know, a little bit of a deeper retrace. This is a legitimate phantom that actually pays off to midband for sure most times, and all the way what we call coast to coast. Coast to coast means phantom to phantom. Okay. When we talk about phantom, we're talking about this ghosty area right here that's just shadowed, and this ghosty area right here that's shadowed. Now, when you're looking at a trend change, and you get this first one into this line 6 to line 7, and I even like them if they just barely come to line 6 a lot of times, and I'll even take this one that doesn't even come to line 6, but I'll do it more on like a 1, 2, 3 reversal on the bar. Okay, And you could probably get this one somewhere in, let's see, bar down, bar up. Now you pretty much fire it right across here. See where the bar's up, bar down? You'd take out that swing right there. Okay? Now that's your short phantom. And that's a very good trade, by the way. We've calculated this to be accurate to about 80 to 85%. Okay, on phantom type trade. All right, and only first time after a trend change. See, first time, second time, you're already green background and everything. A phantom's usually meaning that they're trying to set up a large range that they're going to finally break out. And see, they did that, but look at that phantom. Now this phantom, you're always looking for the trend to change from red, magenta, or rose-colored midband, which is short, to long, which is your lime green or blue or even yellow. Okay, notice how this phantom also changes the background. All right, now this was a legitimate phantom right here, by the way. See how it hit line 2? So this is your sweet spot right here. Now what I normally do, if I take a phantom trade and I take it lower like line 2, and I'll allow it to go ahead and tag that phantom. I will not allow it to take out this. Because as a rule, if they take this out, well, for one thing, if they take this out, they're changing this midband to the short color again. Okay, because that's in the algorithm. When this is broken right here, that will change. This didn't change like that. See, it just hit phantom. So usually, if I take like one contract here and you're riding this thing and you're still okay, I might even add one down in here. Notice that the predictor wasn't even showing here. This is the predictor here. Okay, now when you're taking a phantom type trade, just remember that you have to have a trend change. Don't listen to anything else than that. It is not just boxing in at a phantom and taking a trade. Okay, because I can tell you this, you could box in at phantoms all over the place and think you're going long. Look at this. You know, if you boxed this in and thought it was a phantom, it busted out of it, didn't it? That's not a phantom. This phantom would have to be up here. Okay, because you're already getting that short midband. When you get that short midband, you're looking for this phantom right here. Okay, and even deep probe, but this is not a phantom trade. This is a phantom trade because phantom trade has to be between line 6 and line 7 on a short and between line 2 and line 1 on a long. See there? That's a true phantom trade. That's a true phantom trade also. Doesn't have to close. Just has to touch line 6 to line 2 to line 1 on a long. Now does anybody have any question on phantom? Because truthfully, if anybody explains it any different, then they don't understand what a phantom is. Okay? Because a phantom trade is, this is the way it was designed, this is the way it's been taught, and you know, be sure that you trade it accordingly, and you will find, oh, it's a very high probability trade. See, I've heard it said that, you know, by people that they don't like phantom trades. Well, they're not taking the right phantom trade. Because if they get a red midband, to give an example, you know, let's say that you get this red midband like this right here. You're not looking for this to be a phantom or this to be a phantom. You're only looking at the retrace that goes all the way up to phantom area and then rolls over. Okay? When you're long, you're simply looking the opposite direction to this. So always remember, phantom's going to be in this area for a long, and it's going to be in this area for a short only. And it has to have the color of midband that's according to its phantom. Okay? You know, for somebody to say, well, you're breaking out a phantom down here, you know, and box it in, no, that's not a phantom. Now, in hindsight, it could be a phantom, but it ain't. that's Oklahoma terms for don't fall for that. This is not a phantom down here. Okay? This is not a long background. This is not a phantom. This is not a phantom. You know, nowhere in here is there a phantom here except right here. That's your phantom trade. And I can tell you, if you go back on your chart, you'll see that trade pay off. If you did CL, for instance, with a phantom trade, and did 2 contracts on it, you got a $400 bill. You got a $400 bill. And if it ratchets up, you got another $400 bill. This is second phantom though, and it's not as likely to be profitable as this one is. But if it ratchets up, then it's okay to take it. What I mean by ratchet up is this. You had a huge thrust up. You had a pull back into phantom, right? All right. Now, what's our definition of higher low? See, it took out that swing. Sorry about the kid in the background. I thought she was going to keep him out longer. All right. And then you pull back like this. Now, notice that ratcheted up above that previous swing. That is a legitimate phantom. And as long as you're stair-stepping up and your mid-band, if it changed to rose color, it's not a phantom. If it's blue, green, or yellow, this is a long phantom down here. Okay? And I know I'm going over that quite a bit, but I've run into a lot of people that I think they're actually being told different on phantoms or something, because a phantom trade only is this right here. Let's see. So trade only taken with return to the direction of the trend. Exactly. See, Robert, to give an example, let's say that, let's say that you were looking at this and you thought, you know what, if this breaks mid-band, I'm going to short it. Okay. Now don't get me wrong. I'm not saying to short it, but let's say that you were one of those that, did. Well, your swing's really right here to begin with, so you'd have to break that. And what are they going to really do? They're going to barely break that. See, take it back up, then roll over. But is this a short? No. Overall trend is definitely the upside. Your phantom, well, this shouldn't actually be called phantom. This should be called, you're basically heading up. Anytime your mid-band's heading up, okay, and your shadowed area down here is heading up, this is a phantom long, this is a phantom long. Okay, if this changed trends on Monday, to give an example, and to change trends on this has to actually take this out. Okay, now this right now is right here. This may be up here by Monday morning, but it's still going to be a phantom long if this is any color of blue, green, or yellow. Okay, could you show where the line 1 and 2 are? Sure, absolutely, John. Let me just go over, and like I said, I'll keep this webinar as long as y'all want, because these are important things. They'll change your trading forever, believe me, if you wait. And my webinar on Monday night is wait for the trade to come to you. Okay, so if you look at this chart right here, this is line 0. We even have a trail stop that's designed for this, 0 to 8. See the new trend trail stop? That's been on there for a while, but we've now changed it to where it says trend, and you can choose where you put your trail stop with your lines. Line 0 is right here. All right. Line 1 is right there. This is exactly 6 ticks. Line 2 is right here on that line. Now, when we say, for instance, we're going to use line 6 as a stop, well, keep in mind that, sometimes that can be, if you actually use line 6 as a stop, you're going to get stopped out here, 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 and you didn't get stopped out all along in here, okay? Everybody see that? So what you could also do is use a stop called lightning, and it is right here, and you just simply click your space bar, and there's your lightning stop right there. All right, and I'll usually even fade it just a little bit under a swing, and then just let it do its thing. And that's where your stop is on this particular trade, and it will keep stepping up, stepping up, stepping up, stepping up, stepping up. Okay, that lightning stop is a really good stop. All right, you don't have to leave it on the space bar, but that shows you where it's at. By the way, any of these stops here, trail stops, you can see them by just simply hitting your space bar. Okay, notice that I've got line 0 chosen right here. There's your stop. Now, I'm not saying that's your stop you'd want. I'm just saying that's your stop. Line 1, line 2, see there? Line 3, see there? Line 4 is midband. See there, perfectly on midband. Line 5, shadowed yellow area. Line 6, line 7, and line 8. Whoop, did not want to change that. 0 is what I want. There we go. Line 8. Okay, so you have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So when we say that we're looking for a stop at line 6 or line 5, then you'll know right where it is at. Okay, if you need to calculate it on your chart, just put your chart on trend and then say, you know what, Gary said line 5. There's line 5 right there. Stopped you out. Okay, has it stopped you out on midband yet? Nope. Midband is right there, and it just barely, well, it probably would have because it closed below it. Line 3, if you had a stop here, that's right there. Okay. All right, we definitely ran over. I'll show one other thing real quick because I was asked about these lines on these charts. I hope this turned into a good webinar for everyone, because if you can learn the midband trades and you can learn phantom trades, you can fill your bank account, your trading account. But don't go against the trend so often, because, you know, at the open of the market, sure, they sometimes break and they just keep breaking. But, you know, until they break what I consider to be the medium swing, you got to be careful. Because did I call a short on oil on Friday on that trade? Didn't I say that oil was going to break up like a big dog? And I knew it was going to break up like a big dog because it was trending upward. And each time they hit a support level, they just popped it again. And they were starting to get higher lows and higher highs. And if you took that trade on Friday, that little trade was 100 tick trade straight up on oil. Okay. And 3 contracts on that's like $3,000. 2 contracts is 2, and even 1 is 1,000. You know, and that trade was absolutely called in the room. So, you know, get in the habit of knowing exactly what these are. So important to know that this is not a trend change here. This is a phantom trade. This is a phantom trade. You know, this is a phantom trade. You weren't trading to the long side yet on this. What if you boxed it here? Well, if you boxed it here, you would have felt some heat and you're thinking, wow, this could easily go down on me. So we're not, you know, like little breakout traders. We would want this to thrust up, pull back into a support area, and keep it, and then bounce up. And that's not what it did. It came on down. Okay. Now, when it started breaking up, what did it do? It took out the swing to the left. You boxed it in at mid-band. You know, you had a target right up here. But you don't even have to take this trade. This is risky. But is this trade risky when it changes background to green, comes back into a predictor or line 6, and you box it in and take that trade? No, that's not risky. That's a pretty darn good trade. Is this a risky trade? No. Phantom trades only turn into a red background if they take out this bottom line right down here. And if they take that out, you've got to still watch to the left, because what if you had a swing here that had double topped and you had a swing over here that was actually the real swing? You got to watch that too. Only when they ratchet up can you tell that this is your low. Okay? Take these phantom trades and it'll make a world of difference in your trading. All right, let me show that one. I know I ran this way over and I apologize for that. But these are important things. I want everybody to make all kinds of money trading. And the way to do that is to learn how to do it. All right, let's go to webinar lines. This is my new template for my webinar lines. Take predictor off. Okay, now notice right here on, for instance, on your little lines that we've got going across here. All right, notice that they started stair-stepping up right across here. See where you had resistance right here? Okay, and you know, when you look at this right now, Is this a downtrend even as we speak right now? And the answer is no, right? Because you're stair stepping up. Okay. The way I did this little chart for anybody that was asking, I just simply took Lightning 3 and added the high display. High display just simply means it's going to draw a line at the dot itself. We put this into Lightning on purpose so that, you know, if you want to draw a line there, you can draw dots there. I'll show you what it looks like if you draw a dot. And we'll draw a dot on the display here. A line will just connect them, but a dot will just simply draw across the tops and the bottoms. See there? That gives you a little idea of where support is, doesn't it? But the number's there to begin with. Let's take the predictors off. Everybody see this? Thrust, there's support. Thrust, there's support. You know? So until it breaks this support right across here, at least right now anyway, this is not heading down. So, you know, if you're like at midband right here, are you going to short this like under here and wait for a bar close and then try to get 4 ticks or 6 ticks? No, you're going to wait to take the trade when it comes down and bounces until it changes directions. Okay, now that's how you draw the dots on it, but you know, the way I did that one earlier is I simply drew the lines, and I've got a little template called webinar lines. And all you got to do to make it is just simply change those to lines instead of dots and turn them on it with a color. But I'll put this on the site just after we close the room if anybody wants this one. It's not a big deal. I just simply did it so that I could kind of show where people could see, you know, that you were really in like an uptrend, for instance, when we looked at that oil on Friday. Okay. And again, it's very important to see that because you weren't looking for shorts. When I was saying on Friday that I was looking for a big dog breakout, I knew that because I was getting this. I had a low. I had a high. I had a higher low, and then it started breaking. As a matter of fact, it broke above mid-band even. And then what were we doing? We were looking for it to come down these little sweet spots and box it in. How to get numbers on horizontal lines you draw? The numbers, Robert, these numbers are off of Lightning 3. Now, Lightning 3, if you don't have this, I'll re-put a template on the website that'll be correct. But see where this says low dot and high dot? This will actually put a little dot there and a number. Okay? So you just simply tell it, you know, what size dot you want. Okay? And then you also want the number to be like a certain size, to give an example. You can change all that up in here. Let's see. Line width, strength, price offset. Trying to see where, I think you can change even the size of the numbers, I'm pretty sure. Okay. Oh, the blue line was just simply, I drew it. Oh, the line on the blue line, the number on the blue line, that's on this script right here. Horizontal lines, Object Trader horizontal lines will put the number on a horizontal line. Be sure and put that on your template. Or just holler at me and I'll make sure you got it. Okay. Again, I ran this extremely late, but I want people to be realizing on Monday how this is called and traded, and don't fall for anything or anybody telling you any difference on the way a phantom sets up, because a phantom sets up the same way every time. And you can't trade a long phantom on a short midband. You're going to get creamed. But you can trade a long phantom as long as that midband's the right color, and you can see that it's clearly ratcheted up on the left. All right, I'll send this recording out today. Thanks everybody for coming. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you on Monday. Wow, this was a long one, an hour and a half. Sorry about that. Bye, everyone. Thanks. Everybody's going to hear my grandson in the background on this thing, but that's okay. All right, bye, everyone.